Wind Down Wednesday is brought to you by Mila Eve Essentials. Visit MilaEveEssentials.com for 100% pure, therapeutic essential oils and other products. Nature knows best, and so does Mila Eve.
Changed up the whole scenery. We were behind the scenes. First of all, we were late because we just came from Tea with Monique. Aneesha was our guest talking about her book, It Always Works in Your Favor. Riley is back. Look, it's been weeks. You've been busy, Riley.
Yes, I've been on vacation. I was in Puerto Vallarta celebrating DJ Richie Sky's birthday and was there with Funky Dineva also. Yes. So much fun, so hot. But I did like a whole little vacation lookbook of Riley Knox couture clothes, so it was really cool.
Awesome. And I'm so happy to have Chef Amber Franklin back with us. How are you, Amber?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be here. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. For everybody that's watching right now, all of us are contributors for Not for Lazy Moms. So welcome. This is our team. We are here. We're excited about today's topic because I really think that it can help people, which is always our goal at Not for Lazy Moms. Aneesha is our style contributor. Chef Amber always gives us these amazing recipes that are fun and tasty, especially for children who are picky eaters. We all need that. So she was here before. We went into such deep conversation about her life and how she went from chef to stay-at-home mom to now chef mom. And, and I'm so happy to have you back. And we're going to actually do with what you're doing tonight with the wine. So look, I tried my best to get the ingredients that you said, and we're going to have fun with it and then have some great conversation. So welcome everybody. Everybody in the comments, thank y'all so much for being here. Wow, it's a lot of people here already. Awesome. So before we get started, everybody, whatever you're drinking, tell us in the comments, and then we'll tell you what we're about to do as we kick it off. So, yes. Mary's even here. Hey. First time. Welcome back to everybody. It's been a long time. I'm so sorry we've been missing in action. We had a lot of things going on. So yes, before we get started, Riley, tell us what you've been up to, because you've been doing some major things. Whatever you can tell us.
Well, okay. So I just came back from vacation, but I'm working on a few things. A lot of you probably just saw Karen was wearing an outfit that I did on that show.
Oh, really? Which one was it?
Her confessional look. And so I've been doing that, and I've been, I took a vacation for the first time in a very long time because obviously the pandemic, and I've traveled a lot for work, but I don't usually travel for leisure a lot. And so I'm happy to have taken it, and that's what I'm doing. But I came back to a lot of work because I was gone for almost a week, and it's been a lot going on. I'm still filming a show for Amazon Prime.
Ma'am, you were in California, weren't you?
Oh yeah, I was in Sacramento.
I live in California. And
no, I was in Sacramento.
Okay.
I was in Sacramento for like 3 days. I came back for 3 days, and then I went to Puerto Vallarta. So I only came back long enough for me to sew a dress and pack my bags. That's literally all I was doing.
I was going to tell you, excuse me, ma'am. Like, I know you were in California.
Yeah, no, I would never come to LA. Even my sister said it too. She's like, "You're here," and I was like, "I said California. I didn't say LA."
So I was waiting.
I was in Sacramento, and I was only there for like a quick second. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, you get a pass. And then, Chef Amber, what have you been up to since the last time we spoke?
I actually planned a girls' trip with my best friend, so I'm leaving in a little bit over a week. I am so excited. So that, just getting a little bit of a break, well-deserved break, a little bit. Long weekend. Just hanging out with the kids, and I got back into lifting. I'm back at the gym like 4 or 5 times a week, and I'm lifting, and I'm feeling strong and powerful and just beautiful and just something that I needed to.
Yes.
So,
That's
yes.
awesome. Wait, a girls trip. What is that? I'm like, I want to do one of those. These days, I'm like, it's always family trips. Jeez, Lord. The last girls trip that I took was when we went to Vegas when Christopher was 8 months old. That was 8 years ago.
Oh my goodness. That was
8 years ago. That's the last girls trip I've been on. Other trips out of that don't count because that was work. So it's like literally didn't have a good time. I was working and arguing with people. So
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited about today's topic. If y'all read the description, we're talking about just like the quarantine life. And now that quarantine is over, a lot of us have come out different people. Good, bad, ugly, cute. Who knows? A lot of us came out ugly because we didn't have a reason to get dressed. We were at home just enjoying having ugly day after ugly day, which I love, being in pajamas and barely brushing my teeth. I went to the dentist after the quarantine was over, so I'm good. So but no, we have come out changed in some way. Some of us experience loss. Some of us experience fear. We all have known someone who has contracted the coronavirus. Me and my whole family had COVID. Literally my whole family. And we were able to make it out on the other side. Some of us have lost family members. Some of us have had some major scares. There's a lot of fear, a lot of panic, a lot of stress. And we want to know, like, how has the quarantine changed you for the good? Or for some people, maybe it was a little bad. And then let's figure out how can we get over the hump and how can we kind of, get our hands back on the rope and keep pulling, pulling onward and upward. So I pretty much gave you my spiel. I literally, during the quarantine, we all contracted it way before it was like known what it was. And then we went into quarantine like a few weeks after and realized that is what we dealt with from kids on up. Both my kids had 105 temperatures, literally burning. Like, I don't check temperatures because y'all know I'm with my natural remedies and things. But Chase was so hot that I had to check his temperature. Milani as well. Christopher's the only one who he just had a huge sweat and he was fine. Me and my husband, I was probably the worst because I was taking care of everybody else. My husband, he had body aches and fever. It wasn't as severe. I definitely had it the worst because I mean, the inflammation, loss of smell, loss of taste, all of that. Like it was insane. But after that, I was able to say, hey, I'm home and this is nice. And there's a lot of projects that I've been having that I wanted to work on that I haven't had time for. So I wrote a book, Potty Training Mommy and Daddy. I started an essential oils company. I started back up with my YouTube channel. Quarantine. Oh God. I did my whole 3rd season of my podcast for Not for Lazy Moms. We had 20 episodes, which was our most episodes for season 3. I did a lot of press during that time. Went through the whole season 5, slayed the reunion, and then now here I am. So yeah, had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, but no. For me, I think I was already working from home pre-COVID, but once I work in fashion, and so I'm used to getting dressed every day, right? That was my identity. I got dressed 5 days out of the week, 5 Instagram posts per week, like that. That was my identity, and I didn't know how much it meant until COVID happened. And yes, I was working from home, so I wasn't getting dressed maybe 5 days a week, but when there was really nowhere to go, I actually got, I think it was maybe semi-depression or something, because it was just like, even if I wanted to, I couldn't, because I'm not going to just put on something and then go, in front of a brick wall and take a picture, because then I'll feel like a fraud, So I having nowhere to go when I wanted to, it kind of like messed me up a little bit. Like it kind of was like, like you love, like you getting dressed was so much a part of you. And now that there's nowhere to go, even if you get dressed, it's not going to do nothing for you, because what you're going to do? You're going to go outside,
get dressed and
sit, and then it won't feel the same. So for me, I kind of struggled with that personally, but professionally everything excelled. But personally, like I was like, wow, like like fashion, like getting dressed, like that whole process was like major in my life, and COVID kind of like, you know, I had to figure it out. I think I'm fine, so I think I figured it out. But that for me, it was kind of, it may sound frivolous, you know, but like
no,
it was
true.
Major for me.
A lot of people can relate. Riley, how about you?
So, you know, it was interesting because before COVID, or like directly before COVID, I had the craziest year in a good way of the craziest year in a good way of my career. I made history on March 6th, and on March 11th was my last concert. It was the same night as a Celine Dion concert. They shut her concert down, but they allowed me to keep going. And then 2 days later, there was a shutdown, and it was just sort of like, what is going on here? And I had plans to tour all summer, and I was going to go to Paris for a whole month in October, and all of that was like snatched away. And I got really depressed because I'm so used to performing. And for the last 21 years, I was performing every single weekend, sometimes 18 times every single weekend in 3 days. And then I started doing my own concerts. And I was just kind of like, from all that big high, and then on a couch watching Netflix like everybody else. I mean, the wonderful thing is everyone was going through it together. But I think what pulled me out of it was this one right here, having me create that dress for the reunion, and all the costumes for your music video. And it caused me to basically, in the middle of COVID, create a whole new career and start a whole new business, which I had not planned on doing, but I had nothing but time. And I think the universe, you know, definitely worked in a way that I had the time to do something that I actually I've always had a demand for, but never had the time to do, and always had dreams of doing. And I had nothing but time. And then I came up with all these ideas, and, you know, and after your dress got so much publicity and so many people kept in my DMs, and now to a point where I'm constantly getting all these, like right now I'm working on 4 bridal dresses and like 5 birthdays, and then some other special stuff, and some big stuff for some housewives.
That's good.
Crazy to the point where now I need help, because I can't. I'm one person. I so fast, but I'm just one person. So it's kind of a good problem to have. But it's just interesting how out of something, when I was in you know, Richie will tell you guys that I was, and Billy also, I was extremely depressed, because I'm just like, who am I? You know, if I'm not on this stage, you know, after 21 years of being on that stage, and now I am not allowed to do my job. And it wasn't even just about like money or anything. It was just about like, I'm so used to going and doing all this stuff. And now all of a sudden, like, what am I doing? And now I'm behind a sewing machine. And, you know, it's a very interesting thing now, but I mean, who starts a business in the middle of COVID? And I found out a lot of people did, and are so much happier because of it. And I'm, you know, I'm enjoying what's happening right now with Riley Knox Couture.
Yeah, I wonder, like, what happens? Like, okay, now it's time to get back on the stage, and then like, what happens with, right? You know what I mean? Like, now you gotta balance.
You gotta get help.
Both of them, because people are like, "Hello, come back on the stage," and you're like, "Well, shoot." Now they like, you do need help.
Yes, no, and then I forgot another thing that I did was the music video, which Riley did all of the clothing for, which you doing the clothing for my video triggered you doing my reunion dress, and you were in the middle of doing all my wardrobe for the video, and then my project manager and assistant Leaf was like, "Well, Riley, why don't you make her dress?"
Really? That's how it happened?
That's how it happened.
And I was like, hell no, because I was like, what color you got? Yeah, I said, so what for the reunion? She's like, we gotta wear yellow. I was like, where you gonna find a yellow dress? And then Leaf is like, you should make it. I was like, no, I don't have time to do that. I'm doing all the stuff with these costumes, and that's a big project. A reunion gown, that's huge. Now for me to think about making a reunion gown is like, oh, I can do that really fast. But like then it was just like, this is huge. A reunion gown, this is gonna be this is crazy. And I was like, no. And it's funny because I talked to Richie and Billy about it, and they were just like, you gotta do it. And I was like, okay, listen, if I did do it, this would be my idea. Monique's like, yeah, let's do that. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing it.
If you were still on stage, where would you have had time to place all 18,000 of those? Whatever.
27,000.
Exactly. Sorry.
No, it would have never. I wouldn't have had time, and wouldn't have been able to really put as much love as that dress was. A lot of love into that dress.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's beautiful.
I felt every bit of the love.
yeah.
Amber, how has quarantine changed your life? And look, the eyes got big. She's like,
I feel all of you right now, like all of it, everything. I hit a depression because I have lupus. So I felt like I was in a super bubble. Like and I was just, when you guys were doing the manifesting from the show earlier, the entire time I was like, yes, yes, yes. Oh my God. Yes, yes. Because everything that I started, like, I would write down recipes for myself, or I would do all the times for my girlfriends or my friends or whatever. And I would put it on a piece of paper and just like kind of tuck it away. And I said, I want to write a cookbook. I want to do it. Like, it's more for myself so I can give to my kids. I want to have photos and I want them to be in it. I want something that just like I made for them. And if anyone else wants it, that's amazing. It'll make me so happy. I love when people just want to try new things. So I want to just do it. And I just kind of said, screw it. I'm going to do a page on Instagram and just see what happens. And if you want to follow along, you want to do it, you want to hang out and talk food, I'm down for it. But I really think like quarantine just gave me a perspective on life that I didn't know I had, that I could do, that I could look at. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and my husband's military, so when a lot of other things were happening too, I was alone. I didn't have backup. I didn't, because with lupus, no one was vaccinated yet. There was no backup from family, from a lot of my friends. Like, I would see them still going and doing stuff. I'm like, in my little bubble. And I had
before, my sister-in-law has lupus as well. And it's like, you can't get sick. Like, that is just not something that you can even put yourself in a position. So my heart goes out to you, and you made it through. You did that.
It was, I know I'm strong, but oh my God, I can do it. And like, it was a mental game. And I think it was for a lot of people, and a lot of people were affected. A lot of people lost loved ones, or they were sick, or, just so many things. And I'm thankful and I'm blessed of where I am right now, because I pushed myself even further out of my comfort zone just to do things and like small goals that I want to do for me.
Right.
And showing my kids, and like my little girl, she pointed at, we have a superhero poster, and my husband goes, Molly, who's your favorite superhero? And without skipping a beat, she looked at me and she said, Mommy.
Wow. That is so
And I was like, and like, she watches me, like, I show her videos of me lifting and doing stuff, and like, I'm doing everything. I became a teacher on top of it, and like, just trying to do everything. I know like most parents are too during quarantine. And
I pulled my kids out of school. Both Milani, she was in kindergarten, and Christopher was in second grade. So on top of my other projects, I was homeschooling, but I was their teacher. Like, I didn't have anybody to help me with teaching them and coming up with the lesson plans and all that stuff. I bought an online curriculum. And addition to that, I bought a dozen books. I had a homeschool coach that I reached out to. We spent 2 hours on the phone. She gave me a bunch of different resources, and I had to then do the research to figure out which ones I wanted. And we just did what we had to do. And they just completed their first year of successful homeschool. They'll be homeschooled again this next school year. So it actually triggered some things in me that I always wanted for my children. I never wanted them to go to public school. I used to say it all the time. Like, I want my kids to be homeschooled. I want to homeschool them and then travel and learn as we travel. So now I'm able to really focus more on that. I'm planning a 3-week trip to Africa with my children for next year in January. And I'm really excited. And that'll be a part of their schooling.
That's amazing.
So it's like, it's allowing us to do things that we didn't think we had time for before. And that's the one piece that I can take away from quarantine that I'm grateful for, is that it really opened our eyes. And I really enjoy the time with my family. Like, my kids get on my last nerve every now and then. Oh my God. Energy, the they be doing the most, like most kids their age, 8, 6, and 2, which they were 7, 5, and 1 at the quarantine.
Listen, that Milani will work you.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Miss Riley, I love it though. I love it because I don't know if I could do it every day, but I love it because I don't have that. I would love that, but it's just, she's just the most adorable thing to me because she just loves to have you do things for her. And I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
She made me draw her a couple weeks ago. And I was like, okay.
And it wouldn't keep still.
No, she wouldn't be still. And then she colored it and man, just went all crazy over it. But I got it.
Oh my gosh. Nini says, sounds excited. Which part of Africa? Right now, we're looking at East Africa. So we're debating between Tanzania and Kenya. Right now, it's looking more like Kenya for the time of the year that we're trying to go. I want to make several trips because there's so many countries in Africa that I want to explore. And what I'm finding is that when you're in Africa, going to other countries is a little difficult. So we're trying to map everything out. And my goal is if we can't just do it all when we go, I would love to just pack up and just leave for 6 months and just literally hop around. But my kids are tiny, so I don't know. And then with COVID, with the restrictions that are still present, it's impossible to do that right now. So, but yeah, I'm going to make sure that every year I take a trip there. And, you know, I want to go to Nigeria. I want to go to Egypt. I want to go to Mali. That whole region in West Africa is where a lot of my ancestry is from. So I definitely want to go there as well. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. And I'm really excited. I feel like Africa is calling me, or Akabalan, as some people call it, which is the original name. And me and my kids have just been like learning so much about the continent as we prepare for the trip. So their minds are so open, and I'm really just blessed, grateful, and excited. Yes. So look, we've been talking and we haven't even opened up the Nairobi. Yeah, that's going to be the first stop. Yep. So yeah, we haven't even gotten to the wine. If y'all are home and y'all have some white wine, y'all have some fresh fruit or some frozen fruit, some seltzer water, ice, join us and let us know in the comments how you're doing. So Chef Amber, you can go ahead and direct us because I'm ready to have the cocktail.
Yes. All right, so I am doing a super easy spritzer. There are several ways to do this. I'll give you 2 different ways with alcohol, and I'll give you 1 way without for our friends that cannot drink at the moment or choose not to. So for what I'm going to do is I have some frozen, the other day I chopped up some frozen peaches and strawberries.
Oh, that's
so I'm just going to put them into my wine glass. And I want to have like a nice deep one, nice tall one, so I can fit everything in.
Okay.
And I want to you can use fresh fruit, absolutely. I like to use a frozen fruit just so that when it starts to thaw, like the flavor and like the fruit, the sugar, everything, it kind of like it seeps into the drink itself and it's not just getting more diluted. Because with a spritzer, you have either seltzer or club soda, so it's already slightly diluted.
Okay.
So I like to do that.
Okay. I do want to say what Aneesha and I are going to have is the Chateau St. Michelle. They were one of I don't know if y'all can see that. Yeah, it's like too light. My light game in this room be strong. But I'm tasting their dry Riesling, their vintage 2019 Columbia Valley dry Riesling. They were actually one of our previous wine sponsors for Wine Down Wednesday. So if you looked at episodes prior, you'll see that we were promoting them for a while. But that's what we're going to have today with our drinks.
The dry Riesling, is that a lot? Like, is it not as sweet?
You know what? I haven't even tasted this yet.
You gotta tell me.
I
used to love Riesling, but like I don't know, I'm more on the dry side now.
Oh,
so I definitely want to try that.
Oh no, it says this is a dry Riesling, so it's not as sweet. It's more dry.
Not sweet.
Yep.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I don't think I've tasted this one yet. Okay, so we got the fruit in the glass, and then
Fruit in. I would say like go a little bit less than halfway or so. Just like a nice like solid handful in there.
okay.
Just a couple more. And then I'm gonna fill so I have my white wine.
You went for don't mine look much more visually appealing than the old messy mangoes.
They're both beautiful. They're both perfect in their own ways.
There's in there.
All right, and then I have nice and chilled. You're gonna want to have really, really nice chilled wine and seltzer.
Okay.
I have a Chardonnay, and I'm just going to see if I can see this real quick. I'm just gonna pour over top.
So you're having a Chardonnay?
Yes.
I do have a Chardonnay here as well by Chateau Ste. Michelle. Should I just have this one versus the Riesling?
I'm doing a Chardonnay. I like it more, it's going to be a little bit sweet, but not as sweet.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just try since it's open. Okay. So you said fill it up halfway?
A little bit more than halfway. I'll show you.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's a big one. Well, my glasses are a little fatter, so I'm thinking that might be good.
Mine are like, yeah.
Those are some heavy pours. Oh my God.
The bottle's almost
Andrew's glass is almost full.
It's a girls' night in. We're good. No stress, no worries.
That's too funny.
But you know what? I shouldn't be one to talk because I'm drinking strawberry and peach, but in a vodka form. So.
Well, there you go. All right, and then all you want to do. So, I make my own seltzer, but I have like one of the soda streams. But all you want to do is if you have club soda or seltzer, all you're gonna do is like literally just hit it, just a little bit, not too much.
Oh my God! I swear I did not
What y'all over there doing?
in the world.
Chris did that on purpose.
Chris must have did that.
Get up.
Did it go everywhere?
White t-shirt contest.
I feel like
over here. I hope my nipples aren't showing. I am soaked right now, and oh my God,
that's not the whole thing.
the whole flow, the whole. I'm gonna beat my husband up, y'all.
He did it on purpose. Wow. Okay.
Wow, I mean, like literally everywhere.
You have to play that back in slow motion because my face.
That's
I'm
hilarious.
Sure, is not it.
Okay, so you said just splash it.
Just a splash. Yeah, in the glass, just a splash.
Right in the glass.
It's flavor. Should it be flavored?
It's he got us lemon.
It's lemon. Is that okay?
Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be fine. I'm like, I thought I'd think for a second. I was like, yeah, I'll be good.
Oh,
And that's
man.
it. That's just your spritzer. I mean, the other way you can do it too is instead of doing a club soda or seltzer water with it, is actually using Prosecco as well from the bubbles, and it's a double. That is a stronger drink. So as you're doing it, and then another way for, because I have some friends that don't drink, and for doing it for them or like for kids too, like during the summertime you want to have like, people outside and doing stuff, doing a lemonade and then adding some bubble water or some club soda and letting them pick the fruit they want to put in there, so it's like a bubbly lemonade for them.
Okay. Yeah, okay. We've done that before when Chris and I have like champagne outside and we give the kids some Simply lemonade with what is it? Is it soda water?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, just make it a little bubbly for them. My kids, my son not as much now, but my daughter loves bubble water. She goes, "Bubble water, mama, bubble water," because she sees my bottle when I make it in the morning, and she just loves it and having a little cup of it. So I think it's fun for the kids.
Yes, awesome. All right, so that's it. We can drink it.
Yes.
Okay. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Hopefully, y'all tried this. If you aren't able to make it right now, maybe rewind and then repeat and make it with us. Okay, yeah, that tastes good. I can definitely taste that lemon seltzer water.
I can't taste it.
I think I might put too much.
I didn't put
Well, I think when I drenched myself, it must have
that too.
went in, and I didn't realize it.
It's like literally so good.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if y'all can see it, but literally, whole table is like.
Is your top drenched too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Look at your boobs.
Oh,
I thought it was a design. I thought it was a design. I didn't see that happen. I'm gonna have to rewatch.
Yeah. No, it literally, as soon as I went for the salsa, when I opened it, it's shh. Thank God it didn't get on my laptop. My laptop is like on a different table in front of us, so thank God for that.
Your laptop don't need no more things happening to it. Okay.
Just got it back. Like literally, just got it back.
I have a
That's
question.
really
Will the taste change if you muddle the fruit? Like,
You'll get the stronger fruit flavor, absolutely. And if you would want to put like any herbs in it too, things like that, or if you want to do, instead of just doing wine and you want to do vodka with it, or a light white rum, tequila, depending on what you are into that way too. And if you muddle it there, and if you want to do some rosemary or some basil or some mint. I made a Prosecco lemonade and I added some basil to it. It was so good.
That sounds really good.
So good. My husband was like, "Did you make me one?" And I was like, I can make you one." Yes.
Yes, it is. So I was reading through some of the comments and I wanted to post what you all put up. She said, I can't even see it. Being single and living alone during quarantine brought on a lot of depression. I mean, I didn't have time to be depressed in my house because there was so much going on with all these darn kids. But I can imagine how lonely that can be when everything is shut down and you're home by yourself for a long time. I can't even imagine. I know we were doing lives, me and my husband, we were doing lives on Instagram. And I literally said to the people, I was like, I'm doing these lives for all the people that are home by yourself. And you are literally probably bored out of your mind right now. So me and my family are giving y'all something to be entertained. And then I kept doing stories every time I cooked. And, my heart went out to the single folks. I was thinking folks and people at the same time, single people. But yes, I can only imagine.
You know who crossed my mind? Like people like Riley, because like your life was entertaining. Like people, like you gave people entertainment. Like that was what you did. And it was entertaining. Like you got something out of it, but then you entertained people. And then like, not just for you, but then for like your audience. Like it was like I'm sorry, y'all. Like what? Like I thought of you a lot, especially when you would post like I'll be back soon. I was like, well, when? It's just like I know for you that was probably like insanity.
Yeah, and I don't think people realize that as an entertainer, your job is to help people to escape. Your job is to entertain them so they're not thinking about the problems, they're not thinking about money, they're not thinking about anything. They're just having a good time. And there have been studies that show that in times of like even the Great Depression and different things like that, where the price of like the beauty industry and entertainment industry usually thrive because people are searching for something to make them feel better. And so I don't think people understand that as much as I give them on stage, they give me, It's a give and take situation. I think the reason that I didn't have to go to therapy for so many years is because being on stage was my therapy, and I realized until not doing it for a year that performing for me is just as necessary as breathing. And it was very interesting because everyone keeps asking, "When's the next show? When's the next show?" And I'm just like, I swear, as soon as I know, you'll know. I want to scream from the rooftops. But yeah, it's a very interesting thing. I think about it a lot. I talk about it a lot also. Yeah, it becomes one of those things where I don't just miss putting on a show. I love what I do, but I also miss that interaction with the audience, and which is why I never wanted to do a virtual show, I never saw the reason to do a virtual show, just because I get it. Like, people wanted something to be entertained, but I couldn't get anything out of it. Like, for me, it would be hard because it's the connection.
It's energy.
I am so well rehearsed when I perform for those almost 2 hours, those 30 songs. I'm not thinking about the show. I'm so well rehearsed that I'm able to connect with the audience, and because I'm not thinking about it, I'm allowed the opportunity to connect with the audience and reach out and grab somebody's hand and, get close to somebody and look people in the face and focus on people's faces in the audience. But you can't reach out and touch somebody's hand, if in the middle of COVID. It was very interesting, because I was like, I don't know what this is going to look like for me. It's going to change everything. It was nuts. But yeah, absolutely. It is a give and take between me and the audience, and it was a very strange situation. Yeah, that I'm still dealing with. But yeah.
In the comments, y'all let us know, what have your experiences been during the pandemic, during the quarantine, even not being able to see family. You have some, especially some of the older family members who, even if they could be around, they were too afraid, because of them being of age. And then there were so many unknowns. Yeah. Some were saying that children who were young could be carriers. And, there's so much fear. So y'all let us know in the comments. Anna, I'm sorry, I got something blocking my screen, so I'm trying to see. Anna said, I read a lot of books, self-help, politics, and leadership. That's awesome. I'm all about, not everybody can do that. So that's why I find it so interesting. I'm a person who I've learned over the years to try to focus more on the positive in any situation as much as possible. So I enjoyed the fact that I could actually have time to read. I had time with my family. Was it always peaches and cream? Heck no. My husband was getting on my nerves. I was getting on his nerves. The kids was running crazy. But then we had those moments where we would all sit out on the back, and, even T'Challa would sit out there with us, and we would just have breakfast together. And that was something that we wouldn't typically have time to do. So it was nice with them being home from school. I realized how much time they were in school and away from me versus home. I'm like, shoot, they in school all day. Then when they come home, I'm only able to interact with them for 3 hours before bedtime. So it kind of put those things in perspective and allowed me to make some changes going forward. So I would love to hear from those that are watching, with all that you experienced and went through as well.
For quarantine, for me, while we're waiting for people to respond, I know what I can handle mentally, right? And what can take me down a spiral. So I didn't let it stop me. And listen, maybe looking back, it may be ignorant. I can say maybe it's not ignorant because no one got COVID. But I didn't let it stop me. So as long as the other party was okay with me coming to them, whether it be my mom, my grandmother, my child, paternal grandmother, I still travel.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have to. I have to know that I'm protected. I can't be fearful.
Mm-hmm.
If I get there, I'm going to get COVID. I'm not going to think like that because I don't want it and I don't want what comes with it. So I still travel. Of course, it was shut down for a couple months. It was hardcore shutdown. But as soon as I was, I had my child's first birthday party in July, and we had it in a park. We social distanced the chairs, and if they felt comfortable coming, come on, you know. And I respected people's wishes. If you didn't want to touch, absolutely, I get it. Mm-hmm. But if you wanted to embrace, I'm all here for it because I can't think that if I touch you, I'm going to get COVID. If I travel, I'm going to get COVID because then I know what I can handle mentally, and I'll drive myself crazy. So for me, I was like, I'm still gonna live. I can't not live.
And I won't live in fear. So I'm right with you. But I did the same thing for Melania's birthday. She had her 5th birthday, and we had it in our basement. And for the most part, we were outside at the pool. So I invited, just a handful of people who had young kids, and then I basically, put the disclaimer out there. So we would check your temperature. We'll have some, hand washing stations, and you do what's comfortable for you. So some people stayed outside the whole time. Some people, were comfortable to come inside. So I said, whatever is comfortable for you, we're fine. And, thank God we're, still here to tell the story. So, yes. So, hey, Billy. Billy said, I realized I am an introvert. got more creative, made clothes, started a business focused on what made me happy. That's awesome. I love to hear that there are a lot of people who look more on that positive than the negative. That's awesome. Dulcinea said, we had family Zoom meetings. Oh my God, we did too. Yes. But I had so many work Zoom meetings that I was just tired of being on my computer all day. I've already gone home to New York City 3 times in the past month. Yes. That's awesome. That was another thing, feeling more connected. Like we always have like a family text message where we talk and chat. But the Zoom meetings were so fun. We would have cocktail parties. And then it was like we could have them every night if we wanted to because wasn't nobody
drinking, driving over, everybody's home.
Right, everybody's home. And it would be so fun. We would all just get on the computer and just sit there. My kids would hop on and say hey. And, you know, we celebrated my great-grandmother. It was like 100 of us on a Zoom call. And I put together this little video where we acknowledged her and had pictures of her when we were kids and pictures of her as a baby. And it was beautiful. Cried and cried and cried. So yeah, it was nice because for us, we connected with even family members that we don't talk to all the time. Normally we see you at a family function and then that's it. But we were like, how hard is it to log on to Zoom? Ain't nobody doing anything. So we just did it and had a great time and we're able to connect. So
how you talk about like the positive of it, right? Like just seeing the positive of it. And yes, it was a global, you know, reckoning. And like, yes, people did lose their lives, but you know, it worked out in our favor. Look at Riley, whole new business. You know what I mean? Like, and with everybody, like new businesses, you got more creative. It gave you time to speak with people you may not have, but like it kind of worked, right? And again, like you don't want to say it in such a way that you know you're not
being sensitive, right?
Being insensitive to the people who lost individuals to COVID, but you know, it kind of worked in our favor.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone. Like I thought, I was like, I can handle it. I can do everything. I'm fine. I'm tough as nails. I got it. But damn, some days just knock me down. And then the other, like when I would just kind of come back up, be like, nope, wasn't meant for me. I got this. Yeah. It's all good. Yeah. No stress.
Yeah.
And like, it's definitely showed me like with lupus, like stress or, you know, exerting yourself or certain things are happening, makes me flare. So like, I feel like in a weird way with COVID, it just helped me let go. It just helped me let go and just feel free. Like, and like, if something doesn't serve me and I'm like, it's not good for me, I can't do it. I've also like taught my kids that. And I'm like, you know, to take a deep breath and just to let it go. And like my little girl saw me frustrated last night. I was tired and my son was taking a long time to eat. And I was kind of like this. And Molly, my 2-year-old, goes, Mommy, deep breath in. And she goes, you feel better? And I'm like, you know what? I am teaching my kids to self-regulate. I'm teaching my kids that, you know, Joe Schmo down the street is giving you a hard time about it. It's not, life's easy. It's not that hard. And it's a beautiful ride if you just take it and get on and like do it, you know? So I think that's a positive. And I think a lot of people got crafty with it and, you know, getting out of comfort zones and making life in new ways. And it's a beautiful thing. And it is in a mess, some beautiful has come out of it, I think.
Absolutely. I love that too, because the meditating, oh my goodness, I enjoy it. We were doing family meditations and it was just beautiful. It's just so crazy how you can have something that is so scary and so, I mean, it literally impacted the entire world, but then so much good came from it. You know, I heard stories about different places that the waterways were so busy and they were so like polluted that during the quarantine when everything stopped, there were dolphins that hadn't been seen in 20 years. You know, there were groups of wildlife that returned and it was just a beautiful situation. And it's just like, wow, maybe we need to just like, everybody just take like a week to just be.
Let the earth heal itself. Yeah. I don't know if you remember, like there was a time like I went outside and there had been no cars on the road that much. And I think some people said that like the wildlife was starting to go into the streets and stuff because it was like where normally it wouldn't. But the air smelled and felt crisper and cleaner outside. It was almost like the earth needed to repair itself because we're always moving around and polluting and doing all this stuff, and it just needed to cleanse itself, you know.
Yes.
So true.
Oh man.
So I live in LA where we have smog tests for our cars, like the air
Yes.
and every day I'm getting something like the air quality ain't good today. You should stay inside.
Wow.
And like no one's on the road, and you know, like it was healthy. We can go outside without having an air quality negative test or whatever, however they measure it. But yeah,
I enjoyed the fact that there was no traffic. I mean, like when I did have to leave, I was like, wow, there's like no traffic. Riley just gave us the church finger. She gave us the church finger.
Riley always has to take bathroom break.
Wait, why did she give us the church finger? She was like,
She really does.
it got up. I ain't seen that in years. But yeah.
My husband said that like the traffic it started to pick up the past like couple weeks. He's like, everyone's back. He's like, this is rough.
Oh my God.
He's like going, but like before the traffic was just like it was nothing. He's like, there's no one out. Everything's just open and clean and free feeling. I'm like, I'm still not out, so I don't know. But I was like, I'll take your word for it. But I was like, man.
Oh man, the reemerging is serious. So yeah, we've been, you know, we actually, so here was my thinking. Everybody's afraid. Nobody's traveling. So we're going to take a trip. We went during quarantine. We went to Aruba. And And I posted about it. First of all, when we got to the airport, no, we were fine going through the airport and everything. Me, my husband, and our 3 kids, just us. And got to the airport. I was determined to get a tan because Riley made this beautiful yellow dress for me and I needed some color. And I said, I am going to Aruba. So we get to Aruba. When we land, we had to take a COVID test and then we had to quarantine in our room until they got the results back, which was in a few hours. So when we landed, it was like 2 in the afternoon and the kids were ready. Like, oh, we want to go to the beach, you know? And I was like, all right, well, I said, let's just see how we feel when we get to the room. I don't want to tell them that we have to stay in the room because mommy and daddy have to wait for our results. So I just said, you know, I didn't want to put that out there because then, you know, when you tell kids that they can't do, that's when they want to do it more. So I was like, no, let's see how we feel. Thank God we have friends who live in Aruba. So they went to the grocery store for us. They got everything we needed because we didn't know that we would have to quarantine and we didn't know for how long. So they went and got everything we needed from the grocery store. They dropped that at the hotel. Someone brought it to our room. And we just waited. And then we got our results that night. And we were free to go to the beach and everything the next day. And when I tell you, it was the best trip that I've had in my entire life. I mean, we've been going to Aruba for like the past 13 years, 14 years, and we would usually go twice a year. This was the first time that we ever went, and we had clear access and choice of which palapa we wanted to sit at. There was nobody on the beach. The restaurants, we didn't have to make a reservation. I was like, oh, this is amazing. It was like, and it was safe because there weren't a lot of people out there, you know, and they still had their mask mandates. And we, you know, we abided by the rules that they had. And they did a great job of making sure that whoever came to their island was safe. They were on it. So we ended up taking that chance and just like, you know what? If everybody's in the house, maybe this is the time to go with the kids. And it worked out so good. Now it's like, can't even get around. And the rates were low. Were very low.
Well, honey, go into the airport now. Oh my God. It is the absolute, and it is crazy because you think it's like people don't know what to do. It's like, move along, people. It's crazy. Customs is crazy. It's just, it's insane because everyone's traveling right now. But yeah, I would live for that time, like when you went to Aruba, because I actually did travel also, but I had a performance in Atlanta and got through the TSA like that. The funny thing though, with TSA there was been a little more nitpicky because it was like they had time. There's no long line, but but it was just like, oh, there's no one beside me. This is an empty plane. It was great. Not now.
And oh, you know what was funny? Yeah, Ashanti. Yeah, Ashanti. She said traveling during quarantine was great. Empty planes and cheap flights. I missed it. I know, right? But let me tell you what was so funny. Well, I mean, funny, not funny. But our plane to Aruba was packed. Like literally.
Really?
Let me tell you, it was packed. Like literally every seat was taken. And this was in October of 2020. So
wow.
When we got off the plane, as we're, once you land and they make that beep sound and everybody starts getting off, they were like, we would like to ask that everyone please maintain social distancing as you're exiting the plane. We just spent 4 hours in the air sitting right next to the person. I was like, this is insane. Down social distance as we exit the plane. It was hilarious. But yeah, we had a good time. It was safe and it was great. It was great. Dang, it was something I wanted to say. Riley, you said something and then it triggered another thought in my head that I wanted to talk about, but it'll come back to me. But no, that is it's been really like eye-opening. This entire quarantine has allowed me to actually have time for the spiritual journey that I wanted to go on. I've been doing like a lot of reading, a lot of just like, I stopped eating meat during the quarantine completely. Outside of seafood, I still eat seafood. Yes, Aneesha's so proud of me. I used to make fun of her for not eating meat, and now
she gave me such a hard time. You don't get this. You ain't get this. You need this.
Yeah.
And now,
are you a vegetarian or do you do or veganism or vegan or?
Yeah.
What is it?
Vegetarian.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm on a journey to be vegan, so I'm still trying to. I think so beef was hard to eliminate, and once I finally let go of it, now I can't even stand the smell of beef. I've stopped eating chicken 5 years ago, so I definitely don't like that anymore. But beef was the hardest thing because I was like, what am I going to pair with my wine? But now it's like popcorn. Popcorn does fine with red wine,
Which is weird because I'm a vegetarian, but like the smell of meat drives me like the most disgusting part, like hot dogs. When I smell a hot dog, I am like, oh my, like salivating. But I won't eat it. I'm vegetarian for different reasons. Like it's not really healthy because I feel bad for the animals. I don't eat the animal because I feel bad for it. But
and I don't like the taste of the animals.
And she doesn't. So it's our reasonings are different. But like when she says, oh, I hate the smell.
Can't.
What? I love this smell. Like, oh my goodness, it just drives me so crazy. But I just won't do it.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the meat that you're smelling because I think it's the seasonings.
Yeah,
like sauces. Yeah. That's what I smell. And so people are like, don't you miss it? And I was like, absolutely not, because I could put that on a vegetable or I could put that on some Beyond Meat or something. I could put it on a lot of other things.
We're in a big mushroom. Those big portobello mushrooms.
Absolutely. I know. I don't miss meat at all. I don't like the look of raw meat anymore. Like if I go into even Whole Foods where it's all like laid out pretty and perfect, like why is this chicken? Like I can see all the vein. That just looks disgusting to me. But the smell of something, I'm like, oh, that smells good, but it's not. I know I'm not smelling the actual chicken. I'm smelling the seasoning and the oil and all the the breading and stuff that they put on it.
Yeah, no, let me tell you, me and my kids watched how it's made, some show that came on, and we watched the one about hot dogs, and I don't eat meat anyway, but I was so thoroughly
never ever. You don't start with hot dogs. That is the one thing you don't want to know how it's made. No. Ever. That's like everything in there.
One smell.
Grind it up.
In LA, they have like the street carts with the street meat. Every time I drive, I'm like, oh my God, this smells so good. I would never, but like it just smells so good.
But what someone told me years ago when I first started like eliminating different meats from my diet, they told me if you truly tasted what meat actually tastes like, you wouldn't like it. Because they put so much crap into it to keep it fresh, that they take away from the true gamey taste of flesh. So you end up thinking that, oh, this tastes so good. But if you were in the wild and you took a darn chicken and cut it up and ate it like on a fire, like back in the day, you wouldn't even enjoy it.
With nothing on it. Yeah.
You wouldn't enjoy it. And my kids, we watched the making of a hot dog, and they were just like, my children were like, ew. They were putting corn syrup, they were putting all of this stuff, these big machines just churning all of this meat. And then the only thing that I couldn't stop thinking about was, this has been ours. This meat has been open to the environment, whatever the atmosphere was there, open to contamination. It's not refrigerated, and it's been for hours. And then when they finally get to the final stage and package it, then, oh yeah, you have to keep it refrigerated. What? I was like, oh no, this is just not, I'm just glad I'm over that cycle anyway, but insane. I was like, this is crazy. But yeah, but a lot of positives I've experienced throughout this quarantine, just having that moment to just step away. And what I also appreciate is the fact that people are now open to virtual. Because let me tell you, when I was doing reality TV and I had to do a bunch of press, all of that traveling to do press, I would literally wake up at 5 a.m. to get glam done at 6, to get in my car at 7:45, to sit in traffic for 30 minutes, to go to the news stations and do a 5-minute segment, and then get back in traffic and be home by noon. I done missed out on 5 whole hours with my kids, you know, like, for 5 minutes. So I love that they're open to virtual. So now it's like, that's a thing. Like, you can say, oh, can I do it virtually? And they're fine with it. So I do appreciate that.
In the fashion business, we've had businesses, I know of businesses that have literally closed their offices. Like, we don't need an office. You just work from home. And if we have to meet up, we'll meet up at a certain place. Well, at a restaurant or whatever. Like, they literally have closed their showrooms, their offices, because they realize we don't need that. We'll meet up.
Drive around the city and look at all these giant office buildings that say space for lease in them. Everyone has left them because everyone is meeting up at coffee shops or virtually or at their home. It's insane to me. It's like, if they're not in a WeWork building, then they are just like these big corporate buildings. There are so many empty corporate buildings right now. If you need office space, it must be really cheap right now.
Oh, sure.
Wow.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to start doing pop-ups for Mila Eve Essentials. So I do want to have a storefront. Matter of fact, I will have a storefront for Mila Eve Essentials. I'm going to own some buildings and then, lease out office space to other people. So hopefully by the time we get to that, everybody will be ready to be outside. But yeah, I've been basically I'll do different pop-ups this way. I'm not committing to some long-term situation with the storefront. And then people have that in-person experience if they choose to, but then they still can do everything virtually. So having that option, I do like it. And you can reach more people. Because when I'm selling different orders, there's so many different countries that people are purchasing from. So if I'm doing something like a essential oils workshop and I'm doing it virtually, I can now reach people in other countries that I otherwise wouldn't be able to reach if I were doing it in person. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. Listen, this has been a great chat. I hope that everybody was able to take something away from it. Thank you so much, Chef Amber. Thank you, Aneesha. Thank you, Riley, for being here. It's nice to be back.
Yes. Today I was like, you and Riley took 3 weeks off.
Right? I know. It's been a lot going on. And then, we had a guest that was supposed to be on last week who got laryngitis, and yes, we scheduled them, but she's doing fine. We just have to reschedule her, but we always try to respect people's time, and if they need a little break, we'll give them some time and space. So it's all good. But yeah, no, this has been great. The longer it's sat, I'm now I'm really tasting the fruit and stuff. This is really good.
Yeah,
very enjoyable. So much. Yeah. So everybody that is watching, make sure you visit notforlazymoms.com and experience all of our contributors. They post amazing content. Follow us on social media. And then everybody, before we go, you can say where you can be found. I'm Mrs. Monique Samuels on Instagram, and my YouTube channel here, and Tea with Monique, and then MoniqueSamuels.com. Riley?
I'm Red Knox on everything.
He's acting like I wasn't here. It's okay.
I'm wait, you're sitting next to me. Wait. Sorry, Riley.
Literally just
Aneesha,
I'm the whole person.
I was going to thank you, but normally I always do. I do host, co-host, and then guest. But since you're sitting next to me, I should just went right there.
Yeah, it's okay.
Right? You want me to say
no, relax. It's fine.
Go ahead.
Okay.
AneeshaDubois.com.
Yeah, just AneeshaDubois.com. That's all.
Go ahead, Riley.
Oh, yeah. I'm Riley Knox on everything. Literally, Riley Knox on everything. And if you want a garment, Riley Knox Couture. Although we're backed up right now, so. But if you have something coming up maybe next year, then Riley Knox Couture.
Get on that wait list. You better get on it. Shoot. All right, and Chef Franklin, Chef Amber, go ahead and tell us.
You can find me at Chef Amber Franklin on Instagram.
Awesome.
You know, ate all fruit.
I know. I'm over here tearing this fruit up. It's actually pretty good. I'm hungry. I didn't get to eat dinner, so I'm about to go upstairs and eat right now. But yes, thank y'all so much. Y'all.